With Disney, that came out of nowhere, which was also crazy. They messaged us and were like, no, we'd love to make some Hocus Pocus candles. And I'm like, what? And it was strictly a marketing play too. Like usually we have to pay licensing, but they just wanted a fun marketing play for the new Hocus Pocus movies. We made 3 different candles and they went into a special Hocus Pocus gift box.
I'm Melanie Barr. Welcome back to the She Built It podcast, your go-to place to empower you to live the life and business that you crave. I'm here to talk about everything from having the courage to make life and career leaps to the details of how to lead effectively, create successful teams, implement strategies for growth, and infuse tech innovation. I'm here to celebrate your wins and navigate through your challenges. I live in the city now, but I grew up in a town of 1,000 people. I've navigated major life leaps, a senior level corporate career, worked in professional sports, and now as a successful entrepreneur who loves business, technology, family, and making meaningful connections with you and the She Built It community. I also love a good workout and dose of self-care. Magic happens when we focus on the part of ourselves and our business that brings us joy. So turn up the audio, open your favorite notes app, grab your favorite drink, and here we go. Welcome to the She Built It podcast. Thank you for joining us, Krysten. Share with us who you are, what you do, and what you hoped your path would look like after college.
I'm the founder of Candier with my partner, Sean. He's my partner in business and in life. When I was in college at Ohio State, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. My first year, I was in psychology and I enjoyed it. But then I was like, well, I need to do what I really love to do, which is like fashion. But I still didn't know in what capacity. So I interned in different departments in fashion. This was when The Hills was really popular, the reality show. So Lauren Conrad and Whitney Poore were interning at Teen Vogue. I want to do that. So I went through magazines and applied to like every little website I would see on the magazine. And this designer named Maybelline, he was like, yeah, come out to New York City. And I lived in Ohio and my mom drove me and I got that internship. And while I was there, while it was ending, I emailed Teen Vogue and I got an interview there. I got the position. So I interned there for a while. And then now I want to move up to Vogue. And so I interned at Vogue in a totally different department. So at Teen Vogue, I was in production. In Vogue, I was in accessories. After my internship at Vogue, I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do because at Vogue, it was great. It was fun. But it was just checking in and out of jewelry and designer bags and things like that. So then I worked for a company called Danny Joe, which is a really amazing jewelry company. It's owned by 2 sisters, Danielle and Jody. And they were only a few years older than me. And I looked up to them and their amazing business. They had an incredible showroom in the meatpacking district. I gained a lot of experience from them. And part of me was like, if they can be such successful entrepreneurs in New York City, maybe I could be an entrepreneur someday. And then I worked as a showroom manager at Carol Lee Jewelry, but also Ralph Lauren Jewelry. We had a few other jewelry brands. Then I randomly started getting panic attacks and I don't know what caused it. I didn't know what was happening to me. I remember going to the ER once and I was like, am I having a heart attack or something? Then it took a toll on me. I was like, I'm going to move back home, figure out what I want to do. And within a month, I met Sean, not who I'm married to. And he worked at Abercrombie and he was a designer there. I worked at a boutique for a while, trying to calm myself and figure out what I wanted to do. And then we went into this art store because he did art on the side. And I saw alphabet beads and I was like, maybe I can make some jewelry out of that. And I don't know how, and I don't know what to buy. And he's like, let's just research. And so I did. So I started out as an alphabet jewelry company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And that was a big switch in my life. I started an Etsy store, made jewelry there. I worked at a boutique and the owner was like, yeah, you can sell some bracelets here.
What did those early days teach you about what you wanted and what you didn't want? You mentioned the panic attack. So many times we find ourselves, you're going through, you're having success, and then all of a sudden you find yourself somewhere you don't really want to be. And good for you for having the confidence, first of all, to go after all those things in the beginning, but then also to say, I'm going to go find myself again. I'm going to become who I am again and figure out what that next step forward is.
While I was in New York, It was hard for me to even get a job because I have and had social anxiety, and I knew I could be successful, but I didn't know if it was going to be working in the corporate world because I didn't have that confidence. I could never see myself being in charge of like a huge meeting. And so I needed to be an entrepreneur. Bummed to leave New York City, leave like this dream of mine to take care of myself and go back to Ohio. And then fast forward a few years, and we lived back in New York City. Sean got a different job, which brought us back to New York City. He worked
Sometimes
at
you take a
Victoria's
step
Secret.
back to take a step forward. I mean, it's really
Right.
interesting how life works that way.
I know it's so crazy. And so when I got to New York City, I had so many more opportunities. I connected more with people, and I'm not good at being in person, doing big events, but I've always been a great connector when it comes to social media. And I watched the Today Show and Good Morning America and found out who all the stylists were and who all the presenters were, and would just message them or email them and be like, I'd love to gift you some alphabet bead bracelets. It can have any message on it. So we got featured on Today Show and Good Morning America a few times. It was one of those situations where it was like gift guides. So they'd have a bunch of brands like setting out their stuff.
It's great that you had that confidence to do that. And that's how we met too.
Yeah, exactly.
I love
Yeah.
it when I get messages like that because I get a lot of messages from PR teams, but I love it when someone reaches out directly.
Yeah, thank you. Thinking back to our one bedroom apartment in New York City and having all these orders on the floor, and I was making every single bracelet, and like the stack of orders from the Today Show was insane. I remember printing them all out and being like, I don't know how I'm going to make all these, but I have to. It's just funny how things happen.
Yeah. And you weren't afraid to DM editors or celebrities. Like, where did that boldness come from? And it's interesting when you talk about you don't necessarily always have the confidence, but you absolutely have the confidence in that area.
I feel like two different people. I'm shy on one hand, but on the other, I have the guts to do a lot of things.
It's okay to be a
like
quiet leader. No, quiet leaders are great leaders.
Thank you. When Billie Eilish first came out a few years ago, DM'd her stylist and she was like, yeah, Billie would love some jewelry. And so we made her some necklaces and also Machine Gun Kelly. And we have images of Machine Gun Kelly wearing her necklaces, and he sold them on his website. So that was incredible. But then we had to pivot. So we did bracelets for a few years. And we always focused on custom jewelry. So it was just from our website, direct to customer. We didn't go to trade shows for a long time. We used to always work with stores or big brands. For example, one of my biggest memory is I got a $50,000 order from Victoria's Secret, and I was jumping up and down. So from that point, I was like, okay, instead of DMing stylists and people, I'm going to DM companies and email brands and things like that. We worked with Nike and Maybelline and all these huge companies to either make jewelry on the spot at events, or the Victoria's Secret order was for a free gift with purchase kind of deal. Other companies would have us make bracelets for influencer gift boxes. And then got to a point where I was like, okay, maybe we should start making retail ready products, going to trade shows. And so Sean has an amazing background in design. He worked at Abercrombie designing fragrance and apparel. And then at Victoria's Secret, he designed also fragrance again. Then we started going to trade shows, and that also was a big turning point. We got into paper stores, Barnes and Noble. I still remember standing at the trade show booth. Our little neighbors on either side were like, that's the buyer for paper stores. And I remember her coming over and talking to me, and I was so nervous. And then we got in paper stores and Barnes and Noble. But then we had to pivot because at the same time as us, there was another alphabet bead company that's now very popular. And instead of going up against them, maybe we should try something else. And weirdly, our photographer had a partner that made candles. And she was like, oh, if you ever want to make candles, let us know. And looked at what they made, and they were not really our vibe. They were like the wine bottles that you turn into candles. But Sean was like, I could make these look really cute. I had some fun messaging, and our alphabet bead bracelets were all about women empowerment and in mental health and things like that. But you can only put one word on a bracelet kind of thing. Candles, you can have an actual message on the candles. And so our very first candle was "Girl, you need to calm the F down." And that was our only candle we had on our website, but with some jewelry still. And everybody loved it. And everybody was reaching out to us. So I was like, hey, maybe we need to make some more candles then. And so that was maybe 4 years ago. And now candles are our main focus. And we're in Ulta Beauty is like our biggest retailer right now. And Urban Outfitters, Free People. So yeah, it's changed, but it's fun.
Yeah, so great. I just saw you in Urban Outfitters. And for anxiety, it's like candles calm you. You put candles around to calm you. I just had a dinner party last night and put candles everywhere because there's something about a candle that just is calming. Whether you're working or whether you're having a dinner party, there's something about it that is just really calming. And I love that you added the messaging because it makes it so special and personal.
Thank you. You just reminded me of the calming situation. During COVID, we really blew up because everybody was home, but then everybody wanted to be cozy and
for anything to change the mood or the environment or because we were all at home so much, and just uplifting too, anything uplifting and fun. So with the partnerships, Target, Disney, Amazon Prime, and more, what's the behind the scenes story from one of those that people might not know?
Both Target and Disney, I had on my mind as those are my two big things. If I land those two, I've made it. Like, even though I've worked with a ton of other amazing companies, like I just had it in my head, like I have to be in Target. I have to do Disney. With Target, not really any amazing story. I just like hounded them and emailed like every person in the world that works at Target. And finally someone was like, yeah, I love your candles and let's put them online and kind of thing. So that was and is amazing. And with Disney, that came out of nowhere, which was also crazy. They messaged us and we're like, no, we'd love to make some Hocus Pocus candles. And I'm like, what? And it was strictly like a marketing play too. Like usually you have to pay licensing, but they just wanted a fun marketing play for the new Hocus Pocus movies. We made 3 different candles and they went into a special Hocus Pocus gift box. Yeah, so it was very surreal.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, creative businesses can be exhausting and exciting at the same time. How do you stay grounded when things get really busy?
I take a moment. Sometimes I used to beat myself up about, I'm going to close my laptop right now and watch TV or have a snack or go on a walk. In my early 20s, it was all about the corporate 9 to 5. You have to do 9 to 5. And I have to get that out of my head. You don't have to do that. Make time for myself because it's important for your mental health. We're just making candles. We're not saving the world here. It's not a big deal if something slips through.
Yeah, I'm not always the best at that either, but usually when I go for a walk or step out, something good usually happens during that time. So it's so interesting. And we can't take care of our people around us or our business very well if we don't take care of ourselves. Yeah, it's so good that you do that.
And now it's nice that we live in Florida now, so we can go to the beach.
Oh, yeah, I know. So nice. Magic happens when we focus on the part of our business and ourself that brings us joy. We talked a lot about business today. What is one thing that you do to make sure that you're finding and living your joy?
What brings me joy is these fun collaborations and reaching out to people like how I reached out to you and making these connections and getting over my fear. This is my first podcast and I've had this business for 13 years. And it's funny, my team is like, Krysten, you need to get more on camera. So I've been trying to do little blurbs of video on our social media and things like that. But yeah, what does bring me joy though is reaching out to people and then hearing back from them. It opens up so many opportunities.
And good for you. And it's so real. So often we're getting things, and I get a lot of AI generated things, and I can tell when things are real. And when you message me, I looked at your candles. All of your candles are so cute and fun, but the pizza candle is so cute. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your entrepreneurial journey with us today. Please share with us how and where we can find your very cute candles.
Yeah, you can go to thecandier.com, and our social media is also the Candier, TikTok and Instagram.
Thank you for joining us today. I'd love to hear from you. Reach out to me at hello@shebuiltit.com on our She Built It website or at She Built It on social. Thank you to my editor, Rich Streffolino, who always makes us sound good. Until next time, let nothing stop you from experiencing the life and business that you crave.